Alright YouTube, thank you for tuning in, and today I'll be talking about and reviewing Game of Thrones, the game. Now, Game of Thrones is a lightweight RPG, and there are basically two stories. Now, one deals with Mors, who's a man of the Night's Watch, up in the north, at the Wall in Westeros. Now, he gets his letter from the king's hand, and he needs to find this girl of great importance. Now, the other story centers on Alistair Starwick, who, after the death of his father, comes back out of exile and has to deal with his evil brother, or half-brother. Now, much like the books, the stories are cut in chapters, and that works really well, so it keeps you engaged and guessing what's up and what's next. Now, looking at the graphics, this is not state-of-the-art. Now, environments, I think, do look good, though you can tell that the developers have put extra time in making the characters distinctive, so that's good. But unfortunately, the animations are lacking. You know, the voice acting, on the other hand, is quite good, but there's no real lip-syncing or anything like that, so don't get your hopes up. Now, about the gameplay. As said, this is a lightweight RPG, so the game world is quite small, very linear, and it's quite clear where you need to go. Now, the problem is that the controls, or controlling the characters, feels really clumsy, and the camera doesn't help. You know, it's all over the place. Now, you gain experience by talking to people and engaging in combat, so you level up your character, pick up some loot here and there, buy and sell stuff, etc. Now, the weakest part of the game is actually the combat. Now, the developers wanted to do something different, but failed in the execution. The point is that you can select your weapons on the type of enemies you'll be facing, or at least that's the point of the combat. So certain swords are better against certain armor types, and so forth. Now, in combat, you can also use your special abilities, like setting your sword aflame, use poison, sneak attacks, different sort of strikes, knocking your opponent out, and sometimes you get a companion. You can switch between him and yourself, and you can use their specific distinctive powers. So that's fun, so that mixes things up a bit. Now, the main problem is that the fighting is mostly out of your hands, and thus not very exciting. Feels like you're constantly hitting the air and not the enemy. There's no sense of, I don't know, no sense of actually, well, there's nothing, you know, it feels like you're hitting the air. Even worse, the camera, again, gets in the way, especially when fighting multiple enemies, so it becomes just one big mess. Now, if you can just get through this whole shit, still, you shouldn't skip this game, because it tells two great stories that in which you'll meet different and familiar characters you know from the series and from the books, and that will make it worth your while. But you need to persist here. So even if the combat is weak and the animations are weak, I still give this game a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and leave comments. Let me know what you think.